Welcome. Wherever you are tuning in from today, the car, wherever you are around the world, if you happen to be watching this episode, Jen and I want to welcome you to this conversation. And thank you, incredible audience, for being such an important part of what we do here by your sharing and sending comments, which I so appreciate in order to get better and better. You are such a big piece of this. So thank you so much. Welcome, Jen. Oh my goodness. I'm going to let Jen describe herself. I am going to introduce her as an inspiring homemaker, mom, wife. Let's just talk about that. Child, most importantly, precious child of God, who decided to have her study of the word as a big rock that she puts first and then builds the rest of her life around that. Is such a teacher to me. The times that we share together, we have the opportunity to be together every Thursday. And Jen is in a leadership position with our Bible study, which is a gathering of members of churches from 30 to 40 churches all around Houston, Texas. I invited Jen to come on to talk to all of us about how in the world she had the wisdom and figured out how to have a leadership position with 4 kiddos as a young mother with a lot going on. I just am so inspired by Jen and the other young moms and young professionals that make this choice. So Jen, welcome. Please introduce yourself properly. And how in the world have you done this?
Thank you, Carol. I am from Houston. I married my high school sweetheart, and we were married for about 6 years when I first became pregnant with twins. They're boy-girl twins, Adam and Claire, who are now 14 in 8th grade. And I 2 years later found out I was pregnant with boy-girl twins, and they're 12. And so they're in 6th grade. I am a stay-at-home mom, but they keep me busy. So during the day, I'm just kind of trying to get everything together for our craziness. But I found Bible study when my older twins were 2. My mom was going to a Bible study at the same church, St. Martin's, and I knew that there was an opportunity to take your kids there as well. And so I decided to try it out, and I got placed right where God wanted me in a wonderful group with a wonderful leader. It was my first time to ever try Bible study. I had never done it before. And the first lessons we were studying was Revelations, which was quite interesting.
Wow.
Quite interesting. And so that year was a big year. There was a lot going on in our group altogether. Everybody started everyone was going through different things, and we would just reach out and pray for each other. And I had never had a group of people that would just, in an instant, I could send a text, and I had a large group of prayer warriors. So that year, I became pregnant with my younger set, and there were a lot of complications in that pregnancy, and they came extremely early. They were at 32 weeks. They were in the NICU, and then I ended up having internal bleeding, and I was at the hospital for another 2 weeks as well. But I immediately I could barely function. I was on so much morphine, and I just knew I had this one little group that would pray for me immediately. And I felt God's presence for sure through all of that. And I remember my leader meets with other leaders, and she sent it up the chain. And I mean, by that point, I probably had 100 people praying for me in a matter of minutes. And I definitely felt that presence. But that was 12 years ago. And so I have been in the same Bible study probably at least 8 or 10 of those years. And I did take 2 years where I was just like, well, they're all in school. I'm going to try something else. I'm going to get involved in this, and I was going to become a yoga teacher trainer. And then I tried some other things, and something was very much missing in my life. So I, uh, I realized that Bible study kept me studying something. It kept me in the Word. I felt like I had fellowship with people, but um, it was kind of like studying history or something. I'm going to forget it in 5 years, so I just need to keep studying it to remember it. So, somebody had once told me that consider motherhood like a jar of rocks and sand. And if the rocks are the things that you just have to do, they're the things that you just can't not do. Then and the sand is kind of the things that you'd like to do, but you haven't. They'd be nice, kind of the filler. If you put the sand into the jar first and then you try to put all the rocks in, they won't fit. But if you put the rocks in and then you try to fill in the rest, the sand will go around all the rocks and it will all fit. And so I just really just made Bible study a rock for myself as through going through motherhood. I don't see how I could do it without it because I was learning so much through other women to lead me and guide me and pray for me, and I just felt like it was my rock in the middle of my week. It was
Mhm.
so that's I guess that's kind of what Bible study has been for me.
Incredible, and I love this. I actually have jumped on because it is the jar full, a breakdown, and that is such a fabulous analogy. The most important thing is your relationship with Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Well, that's what you're saying. In the middle of y'all's busy, 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 busy lives. And you're also saying, doesn't mean it makes it easier. However, you are now connected with a safe group of people. Please pray. And they start praying right that second. And it's not one person, which, as we know, that is such a gift. It's just more of a beautiful focus, more people focusing on the power of God, not the power of us individually or whomever is involved in a situation. And the next thing about it is that so often families, and I'm an example of, I'm going to say, a very faithful person, know I'm loved, I loved. However, I did not find 1, 2, 3, 4 hours of Bible study to sit in the center. I didn't put that rock in first. And therefore, let's say I put a lot of rocks in there. That's great. But the most important rock was not at the center of my life's jar. And therefore, more sand and other things in regular life. Think about it. Sure, there was a lot of time, whatever that amount of time is. In your situation, we're talking about 4 hours every Thursday. And then, of course, the study time at home, the reflection and answering. So you're home and you can do that in the evening. And not only is that wonderful, we're just touching on this: leave the house, get in the car, go to a place, be there all day, leave there, this 4 hours, this chunk of time that you could be doing many other things, very many other important things. But you've prioritized him. And what I'm going to say is, I don't know, and by the grace of God and in spite of myself, it is incredible, my life and these incredible children and grandchildren and these amazing in-loves is what I will call them. And that's in spite of myself. I can't even imagine had I put that rock of Bible study in first. Would our my family, the wonderful man I was married to, and those two precious kiddos, would we have stayed in that, right? I don't know that, but I know that it probably would have made an enormous difference. And the next thing about that is, thank you, Father. In spite of myself, I have this we call him the MVP of many of our lives, and this precious child. I don't know that those things were supposed to happen, but by the grace of God, that is what happened, which is one of the reasons I'm so inspired by you being there. I believe with all my heart that your example is showing other mothers in this instance, but professionals. We have Deborah who comes out, constantly, and she worked that out at her professional job. You being there is an example to others that we can put that rock in first. And are you seeing, or do people ask you about that? The time that, how did you figure out how to work it into your debt to your daily life?
Right. Well, there's definitely a lot of other things you can be doing on Thursdays, and I just I just tend to tell people that's my favorite day of the week. It's when I go and I learn from women that have been through my stage in life already. They are full of wisdom. It's the most important day. So I just I feel like I tell people that's my favorite day, and I'm getting ready for Bible study. The kids see that I'm not in some workout outfit, that I'm actually going somewhere and I'm doing something. They see me kind of working on my Bible study, and we can talk about it sometimes and have good conversations. So I heard one time, don't let motherhood make you forget who got you there. And it's true. You can get really wrapped up in motherhood. So anyway,
Yeah.
I just I just probably I've also inspired by my own group of I'm in a group of mothers as well that are also making it a priority, that have little ones still that are coming, and we just all learn from each other, and I grow. And I love that every time I leave, every Thursday, I leave with a new aha moment, and that there's something that I had never crossed my mind before. And I'm just seeking. I'm just always seeking to find a new aha that my mind hasn't wrapped around yet. And I know that spiritually I have so much more growth to go. And I get excited because I know that something's going to be on the agenda that I had no idea was going to pop through my mind. And that only could have come from going to Bible study and learning through them.
How has that affected your relationship with your husband, with your, with your partner, and with your kiddos, and how you react to things? How do you think that this big rock has affected your home life and your family life?
Well, it's certainly, we've been through a lot, through different, there's been sufferings, there's been other things that these kids have gone through. We've had two deaths, we've had COVID, they've had their own set of health problems. So um, it's if we didn't have that faith, I don't know that the kids wouldn't know how to make a decision even. I don't even turn to pros and cons anymore. I just lift it up to God, and I tell the kids, we just need to lift this to God. And if it is not his decision, he will shut the door, and rejection is God's protection. And so there's
Yeah.
that's helpful for them to get through, and definitely in parenting piece, I'm not perfect at it, and I pray every morning, God, just, um, you know, give me peace and the wisdom. Really, like I'm always asking for wisdom on how to parent, on what to
You
do.
you and King
I
David.
don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I just need the wisdom and give me the thoughts and guide me. So anyways, and then I usually think about each of the kids and the things going on in their lives. I guess it's just been a part of our lives. And I ask the kids, what makes you have faith? And each one of them had a different answer. And so it's not like uh, whatever I'm doing is working for the same for each child. Each one is, and I'm not even, it's not even me. The kids are picking out, they can tell, they said, I can tell who has Christ in their life, mom. And
Wow.
so and then another one noticed he's like, I just grew a lot when I went to camp. And then another one was like, well, when we went through all those deaths, I really turned to God and I felt his presence. So each one of them had something different that reason why they felt like, that they had faith in something that they can't see and that they know is there. And so I don't know. I think God, he definitely works uh, differently in everybody's life in the way that he has planned it out before they were even born. And I feel like they go through their own thing, and it's not my plan; it's God's plan. So
Wow. Okay. So many. I wonder if the audience, if y'all are hearing as many golden nuggets or ahas as Jen would call them. You don't do pros and cons anymore. You tell, you turn, and you pray, and you lift it up. So, in other words, you are sharing by example the power of prayer. And you're saying, this is where we turn and we ask if a door closes, we realize we've been protected. You know, another one's going to open. I mean, so many pearls that you are sharing with these kiddos. You know, it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. The other, and this is amazing. Do you think that you would be even asking those questions and having the conversations that you shared when you ask your kids about their faith and how, first of all, it's so cool just to hear you reiterate God meets each of us where we are, which I think what leads to the different answers. But do you think, had you not been in a Bible study, which is conversational and incredible, and we all focus on what we have in common and we're curious, not judgmental about the differences. Do you think you would have those conversations with your kids had you not been in Bible study?
absolutely not. I feel like it leads me on this path of searching all the time, and so I just want to share it and ask all around, just to share it because I definitely feel like we're bombarded with earthly uh things all day long. I mean, all day long. From the minute they wake up, they're forced to go to school. I mean, they obviously have to go to school. Then they go straight to an activity and they go straight to other things, and I just tell them, look up at the sky, look up and see, because there's God. He's all around, but we can really get all of us can just get really bombarded with earth and all the things here. And so um, I think Bible study opens up floods of questions, and you're right, there is no judgment. I have asked so many questions over the years, and I think they lead to great conversations. You asked me about my relationship with my husband. We get on some really good, deep conversations at night because I'll someone has brought up something that is mind blowing. So, anyways,
It,
yeah, it's definitely let us have conversations that are beyond this world. Like it's not about activities. It's not about what's going on in the news. Um, And I feel like they're learning that stuff over, throughout their day. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
And, I love this in the time of, right now, I'm not sure when you're listening to this, but this is being recorded, audience, during Lent. And I love it because I could share as an example, and I don't know that that's how, does it sound like this is how it felt when you made the decision to put this conversation, this Bible study in as a big rock into your world? However, I do think that during this time of Lent, it's crossed my mind because you chose to sacrifice other things, whether they be worldly, other things. Sacrifice whatever you could fill that with, and you place God in the center, which is what we do during Lent, right? But it's the very intentional practice of sacrifice, which can mean so many things to so many people. And in this instance, it's like, I'm going to let go of this and insert God into my schedule. Let's talk about it. Their schedules. I mean, the scheduling, right? As a mom.
Yes. And in this era of time, they start asking for your time even months and months in advance. And so you just you have commitment after commitment after commitment of things that you have said yes to. And so it is an interesting time to parent for sure. And someone told me that God planted you to be a mother during this time, so you can do it. But it's just like it's very different from when I was growing up. The things, everyone is just everything is more intense. Everything is more intense. The practices, these kids are on tournament teams starting like second grade.
Oh,
So it's just a lot of and it's a lot of pressure on them, and it's very different. So, anyways, but yeah, it's you definitely have to build it in to your life. Like it has to be completely built in, so that it's one of those things like just like eating and sleeping. So got to do those.
I mean, it's incredible the example you are giving to everyone, but to build it in, I love that. We're builders as well. Well, my husband, I'm just a consultant. He and the team do all the heavy lifting, trust me. However, it's the foundation. So you're building literally with Father, Son, Holy Spirit as the foundation, and then you're building upon that. Back to the scripture. I will build the church upon and around, I wish Ellen was here so she could quote and get me to the address very quickly. Had I known this was where the conversation was going, I would have done that. Um, I want to thank you. I'm serious. I want to thank you for this example. Um, for me, I could say coulda, woulda, shoulda. So it's such a gift to have you share, to have someone share and say, this is what I'm doing. Does not mean my life is easy. It does not mean it was an easy thing to do. However, it has enhanced conversation and example. They see you in the word. They now know when something isn't going well, they know who to go to and ask for help. They're learning that you can have prayer warriors. They will grow up and look for a community and probably seeking it now that one of your children said, I know who has Christ at the center of their lives. Your kids are young to be noticing that. And when I say they're young to be noticing, actually, not really. They're young to be seeing that and not just worried about the next thing and what they're going to put on. They're able to put that first. Jen,
Well, I'm telling you, I get my wisdom from you guys. Everyone, all the women that are there. That's why I keep coming. I know God is there, but I'm also learning. He's using those spirits to help me mother. So,
When we talked about you coming on, you put together some thoughts, and would you share those with us, please?
oh, sure. Well, my daughter actually had a quote for me the other day, and she was like, she found it probably on Pinterest or something. It was about your mother. This is her first time to do life too. And I just thought, gosh, that is so profound. It is true.
Wow.
It is my first time to do life here too. So we're all having a bunch of firsts. And then I found a lot of little quotes that I just loved. No one will love your child more than you except for God.
Mm,
And I thought that one was great. And then even when you can't be there for your kids, God is.
mm,
So those kind of gave me some comfort. And I just those were some ahas I was telling you. I love for the new ahas to hit me, and those hit me. And God's plans are so much greater than ours. So especially just in making plans for my kids, which is what I'm doing all day long. I just have to lift it up to him because his plans are going to be so much better than the little ideas I have. So,
mm. I loved one of the things you shared earlier with me, and you talked to your kids about it, when rejection is protection.
yes. We've yes, because it's true. It always opens another door. So I feel like we're all to a place if we don't make the team, if we don't get into the school that we applied to, we didn't get into the theater role that you wanted, there is something else. And it's so peaceful to know that it's going to be okay. Like I think learning that right now is important because we're going to be filled with different doors that shut, but a new one, even better, could appear. And that was not the one you were supposed to walk through. So I even tell the kids' friends that in the car. I'm always like, okay, listen, guys, like if it's not going the way you wanted it to do, that's okay. That's God's plan. A lot of the little kids that get in the car, they're trying out for things too, or we're going and they have a stressful dance they have to go work on. And I always tell them the same things too. I'm just try to reach the friends too.
Oh my, you know what? I am so happy you do that. And I hope we didn't do a lot of carpooling, but what a gift to have a mom that would say rejection is protection.
Right. Well, yeah, because they go in there scared. I take them and they're all nervous in the back seat. They're all doing the things, and I just tell them, look, guys, it's gonna be okay. Like this God has a plan for each of you. So it's been
Ah,
happening a lot lately. They've been cheerleader trials. There's been dance stuff. There's been a lot, and so it's been happening a lot lately. So that's why that one keeps ringing in my bell in my mind about yeah, rejection
ah,
is God's protection.
what's really cool is in this current moment, real time, all four of your kiddos are teenagers.
Exactly. Yeah,
Well, yeah, let's just say wow around teenagers.
I know.
And to be planning this information into what's going on for them in real time, you are the hands and feet saying God's going to meet you where you are. He's going to protect you. He's got a better plan. And are they all question, are they pretty do they receive the information pretty openly?
Yes, yeah, they're pretty open. And I mean, at night we always pray, and we always pray like, God, let us, for one, use us in a way that you want us to be used tomorrow, or be a spirit for somebody that needs us. Place us in those spots. Let us listen and hear you. Let us see you. Let us have our eyes open to you. Um, we talk about that a lot at
Wow.
night. Yeah. Just
Ab
to,
oh, just to keep peace, just to settle. 'Cause, 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 'cause,
to know that their purpose is, I think that they get wrapped up in their purpose in life is not to go make straight A's at school, to go be perfect on the basketball court. Like they think sometimes their purpose is that. And so I try to remind them that that is not your purpose. So look for your purpose tomorrow. Like God is going to use you. Pray about it so that you can see the opportunity that God is going to use you. And you're not just a child. He's going to use you. Um so
Wow. I mean, wow. Absolutely, to share with a teenager, look for tomorrow, look around, be open to how God is going to use you. Kind of
well, I learned
mindset.
from them. I mean, there's certainly they have taught me so much. Like just like I'm looking to you guys for wisdom, I'm actually learning a lot through them.
Oh,
Where they make really hard decisions, or they kind, and just I see the kindness they give. One of my daughter likes to give everybody a compliment. "I like your nails, I like your hair, I like your ears." I mean, like, it's crazy. But anyways, and so, but I'm always like, I am just she just likes to see someone smile and, like, acknowledge her,
oh,
whatever. So anyways, and she's like, that might be the one thing they see that day. So, I'm not in the habit of that because I feel a little awkward, but she's always like, it doesn't matter who it is. She's gonna give him a compliment on something. It'll be just a generic earring. And she's like, I like their earrings. So anyhow, she inspires me. I think about that all the time. I'm always like, wow, she can just go up to anyone and try to make them smile. So anyways, I
oh
tell
my
her all
gosh.
the time, God is using you for that. You have that spiritual gift. God has given you that spiritual gift to go over and, you know, um, and do that and make people
Oh,
smile. So I
she's
think the rest of, I mean, and
exposing
she's
her.
an example to the rest of the family who we're all, like, okay, she's doing it.
I
But anyways,
love that. It's so funny in one of our studies that and I'm sure you remember, but we were talking about great works. And so often the question is like, great works. I guess a lot of us go straight to Mother Teresa or someone of that nature, right?
yeah,
And
right.
that's what I think. Speaking of Mother Teresa, the question is, how do we make a difference like you have? And she said, smile at the people in your home.
That's right.
That
Yeah,
is a great work.
right.
Your precious child is already doing great
You're
works.
right. You're right. And well, I'm learning through her. I know, and I'm inspired by her. And so it's neat when you can be inspired by everyone in their um God is just, filling each person with a purpose and a spirit to go do something each day. And I think
Oh,
that they do get told, go make the A's, go make do the stuff, this all this earthly stuff, but um everyone has a bigger purpose. So
oh my gosh. And one last question. Oh my goodness, I have so many questions. Would you please share? You made this commitment to go on Thursdays, and if it's over, I don't know, 15 years, that someplace in that 15 years you shared, it was probably 8 to 11 years that you were active.
Mhm.
And on those other ones, you had to, goodness knows, I don't know what, change a lot of diapers. However, the thing about that is those kiddos, you started this journey when the first set of twins, how old were they? 2?
They were two.
Wow.
Yeah.
So a lot of sacrifices, time, talent, treasure. You also had to find somebody you trusted to be with twins of that age. So whole different subject, but wow. And then off and on you were there, and then you had the second set of twins. A lot of hard stuff with that back in the hospital. They were in there, you were in there, a lot of that. You came right on back.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
how old were those twins when you got back?
As soon as the nursery would take them, probably they were probably 3 months, I think. Yeah, they were little, or maybe 6 months, as soon as I could. And I don't even think there was Zoom then. I mean, sometimes I would call in, or I try to keep up with my lessons, and then we didn't even want to let it go. It was supposed to end in May, and we
Yeah.
kept our leader busy. That summer, we told her we didn't want it to end, so we kept going, and our group kept meeting in the summer, actually, because when you go on break, and we haven't done another summer one in a long time, but if you go on break, something's missing. You're missing that back and forth, conversation, good conversations that just get deep. They're deeper than just your friendships. I mean, everybody's, some people are from all over. It's not your normal group of people, and you can just, you've gone somewhere that you don't go with other people sometimes. It's
Mm.
a deeper level. So,
Yeah, it changes all of our other relationships, and
yeah,
it changes our focus. And the more often you go, the more often the focus is redirected to him.
right.
Jen, thank you for the ahas. Thank you for the time, yet another sacrifice to discuss his love and his mercy and his grace and his light and how to fit that in as a mom.
Well, thank you. I enjoy it. So thank you so much.
Well, and I agree. Oh my goodness. I think that God's precious children that he shared with me, these three kiddos, have been my greatest teachers.
Yes, they are. It's amazing. Yeah,
It
it
it is.
is. I'm always learning through them. Um, they each have something unique to add, and God is using each one of them in everybody's lives. So,
Woo, well, keep up with those God moments. We're gonna share and share and share, and I just so appreciate you, and I know the audience appreciates the honest from the heart sharing, and, yeah, you incredible audience. Here we go again, doing a bunch of good storytelling because Jen matters, her story matters, she matters, and so do all of you. So, from myself and all of us, thank you, Father, and I hope this inspires each and every one of you to turn this relationship and the study and being in the Word into the rock that we put into our lives first. Thank you, Jen.
thank you.